I want to get to House of Heat Sports question before we continue, saying, Totri, is the Big 12 football better than the Big 10? Danielle, can we go ahead and put a poll in the chat and just ask people what they think? Is the Big 12 better than the Big 10 when it comes to football? Well, again, I think you got to look at the upper echelon, right? Because we're not talking about who's the deepest conference, the way Brett Yormark says. I agree. I think this conference is really deep. The deepest, maybe. But at the top of this conference, what do you got? Well, you got Utah. You got Kansas. You got Arizona. You got Kansas State. You got Oklahoma State. Right? Am I missing anybody? That's 5 really good teams. 5 really good teams. Okay? Now, Big 10. Well, you got Ohio State. Returns a lot of talent from last season. The best cornerback in the nation, in my personal opinion, in Denzel Burke, back at Ohio State. You look at Michigan. Hey, don't know if you know this. They won the national championship last year. Now, I know Jim Harbaugh is no longer the coach, but Michigan football is still pretty damn good at what they do. Like I said earlier, Oregon is going to be a favorite this season to be in the college football playoff. They're that good. Dan Lanning has this program running like an oiled machine. Rashad Samples, who was at Arizona State, one of the best recruiters in the nation, over at Oregon now. They're reloading, not rebuilding. Washington was in the national championship last season. Now, I know that team looks wildly different with Jed Fish being the head coach now. Michael Penix Jr., Rome Odunze, a lot of those guys no longer there. Washington is still a damn good football team. You got Iowa. Well, they do defense really well, but I don't think that same, college football history textbook that Kenny has on the swinging gate, I'm pretty sure the one in Iowa just ripped out all the pages that told them how to play offense. So they could use that. But overall, they're a pretty good program. Be honest, I think the Big Ten is probably a better conference overall just because the heavy hitters hit a little harder. Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Washington. Oh, my bad. I forgot. USC, UCLA. Now, UCLA, we could say it because there's not Bruin fans don't exist. UCLA sucks. Come on. They absolutely suck. Craig Morgan, a PHNX Sports, he put it best. The LA schools are like the spoiled rich kids that just don't really do anything, right? They've been handed everything, and they just find ways to fuck it up. It's like they've got all the promise in the world, right? Oh, don't worry, son. I scheduled you an interview with a Fortune 500 company. All you got to do is be there at 8 a.m. What happened the next day? Oh, shit, I forgot. That's exactly what USC and UCLA is. I'd be like, dude, all you had to do was fucking show up. You had the job. You had the gig. That's what the LA schools are. But still, can Lincoln Riley get USC to compete in the Big Ten? Maybe. They got the money to do so. So I don't know. I think overall the Big Ten, in my personal opinion, is better than the Big 12. What does the poll say, Daniel?
We ended at the perfect time. It is 69%
Nice.
Big 12. Nice. And 31 for the Big 10.
For those of you that voted for the Big 12, I would love to hear your opinion on that, on why you think the Big 12 is better than the Big 10. Just give me your thoughts on that. What do you think?
I'm pretty shocked by that.
I am too, but I'm not for the same reason because we have a lot of Big 12 fans in the chat, so I get that. I understand that.
But I think Donald put it best. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, USC, Iowa, and let's not forget the team that was in the college football playoff last year, Washington.
Yeah, I forgot about Penn State.
Honestly, I don't think it's particularly close. But
yeah, I think
you know what, chat? You do you.
We'll see. You never know. Things change. Look, the Big 12 could use a really good football season this year. Okay. And we talked about it. The upper echelon of this conference has some talent. I would say probably the Big 12 is deeper. I would agree with that. The Big 12 is a deeper conference, but I think the top level talent in the Big 10 outclasses the top talent in the Big 12.
I don't even think it's that, we're talking about depth. The Big 10 runs 7 deep in potential college football playoff teams.
I would say you got Ohio State.
I mean, I think
Michigan falls off this year. I'm not counting Iowa. Iowa didn't even score a point in the Big Ten championship game. I think Michigan's going to have a little bit of a fall off this year with a new coaching staff. They lost a lot of coaches, lost their DC, lost their strength and conditioning coach. So I think Michigan's going to take a step back. Like we said, Iowa doesn't know how to play offense. They only play defense. Penn State's the biggest tease in college sports. Penn State's like, oh, we're going to be good. And then it's just like midseason. Oh, gotcha. Like, no, we're not. We don't want to be good. We haven't been good since Saquon Barkley was there. Who else? Washington, you still have a lot of question marks. You don't know how that team's going to be with a new coaching staff, a lot of new players. USC, you lose Caleb Williams, and that team went, 7-5 without any sort of defense. And now they lose Caleb Williams. So we'll see. We'll see. I do think the Big Ten, though, is certainly overall probably, like, again, the top of that conference, I think, is better than the Big 12. But you never know.